Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we will install Sparky Linux Minimal in the command line. I think this will be fun. What is a Sparky Linux? For all who don't know, Sparky Linux is based on Debian and there are two branches available. The first one is stable, based on Debian stable, and semi-rolling, as you can see here. And this is based on testing. So this is not exactly what the word rolling means, so it's semi-rolling. So you go to sparkylinux.org and then you find the download page. Now we choose stable here in this video. The installation process is the same than with testing, so you can do all the same. Here we have the download section. Download Sparky Stable Edition. Now we have LXQt, XFCE and KDE, and if you download this and install this, you have the desktop environment already installed. And here you have the ISO size 1.55, 1.41 and 1.78. We don't want to do this now because I want to show you how to install Sparky Linux Minimal. And minimal means you don't have any applications pre-installed. You can choose a desktop environment or a window manager and one browser. That's all you have, and the Sparky tools. But this is not a problem because the Sparky tools are very good and you should use them if you install Sparky. Otherwise, we have two options here, the minimal GUI and the minimal command line. If you install the minimal command line version, you will be in the command line, as the name says. And if you choose minimal GUI, you have the GUI and it's a little bit more comfortable for you. But let's do the command line version because this is fun. So we have an ISO size of 684 megs, and if you use the minimal GUI, we have 1.18. If you want to know what's in the package list, you can download it here and open with a text editor so you see what you install. I always use the BitTorrent file if possible, but you also can download the ISO as an ISO image directly on SourceForge, for example. Let's go deep into this and let's install Sparky Linux. Now, if you boot the ISO, you should see this window and it tells you that you can start the installation now, or you can do some other things. I don't want to do that now. So let's start the installation here. And you see something is loaded now, and we have to wait a little bit. So, and now we see a command line. Unfortunately, Sparky Linux doesn't tell us what to do now. You can go into the wiki. You had to type sudo Sparky Installer. I will do that now. The Advanced Installer lets you install the live system to your hard drive. Okay, let's do that. You get a message. The Advanced Live Installer uses US English local and keyboard layout by default. So if you live in the United States, this is not a problem. You can go on without thinking about that. But if you live in another country, maybe you want to choose your keyboard layout and your locals. So I have to do that because I have a German keyboard, and so I will change a few things here. If you don't want to change anything here, you can press no, but I will press yes. So I will search now for a DE because this means German. You can choose a default local for the system environment. And in this case, I choose English because you want to see the English version. Now it's generating the locals. Don't touch the key map. You can change anything what you like here, but I don't touch the key map here, and I will use UTF-8 and Latin 1 and Latin 5 for the characters. And this is for the font. I see now I don't touch this. I let it on fixed. And this is the size of the console fonts. This is the model of the keyboard. It's generic 105, in my case international. And the keyboard layout, as I said, in my case it would be German, so I have to go to Other, and then I have to search for German. Here's German, and I choose the default German keyboard layout, and as I said, this is the default, and no compose key for me. And now we go into the partition of the disk. Click OK to continue, and here we have to choose on what disk we want to install the system. In my case, it's a virtual machine, and this is SDA, or you can quit the installer if you are not sure if you want to proceed. So I choose SDA, and here I choose GPT. This is the label type. And if you ever installed Arch Linux, you see that the partitioning is almost the same, because this is CF disk. And now we have to create a partition table. Now here you can see we have free space of 15 gigs. You have much more. I have 15 gigs because this is a virtual machine, and so I don't need more. Now we have to create a new partition. So we click New, partition size 15 gigs, but we have to create a partition for the system, and we have to create a partition for the swap. And now this is only an example. I choose to have 13 gigs for the system. And now you see here dev, that means device, SDA1. This is the first partition on SDA, and here we have the size of 13 gigs, and the type is a Linux file system. So that's all okay. And now we have to create another partition, and this should have 2 gigs. This is good. And this should be a swap. And now we have to go to type. And here we have to select Linux swap. Let's do this. And now we have SDA1 and SDA2. All we have to do now is to write that down and to create the partition table. Write that. And now, are you sure you want to write the partition table to disk? We have to write yes. It is not enough to type Y or just to press enter. This is sometimes enough in the terminal if you use the command line, but in this case you have to type yes, otherwise the partition table will not be created. So here you can see the partition table has been altered, and now we can quit. The partitions will be created. Please select a swap partition to use. This is the smaller one, SDA2. Let's check that, and select a partition to install the root system too, and this is SDA1. So now we can choose the file system type. For the root partition, we can select Btrfs, xt2, xt3, xt4, or xfs. This is very nice that we have the choice for Btrfs in Debian here. I typically always choose xt4, but if you like, you can choose btrfs if you want. Now ext file 4, and should I put home on the root partition? Yes, I will do that. If you don't want to do that, you have to create an extra partition for home if you prefer that. But in this case, we put the home folder on the root partition. Okay. Now please enter a password for root, because we have the root password and we have the user password. So let's do that. And as you can see, you see nothing, but this is normal. You will not see what you are typing. So if you confirm that, they say, please enter the password for root. Again, I do this. Okay, please enter the new user's real name. Let's say it's Joe, and the new username is also Joe. So, and now you enter the password for the user, for Joe. In my case, it's the same, because I don't want to have different passwords for root and for the user, for Joe. If you prefer to have a different password, you can do that here. If you enter another password than you did on root, we again type a password, enter the password for Joe again. Now we have to enter a host name for the installed system. I call that Sparky, let's say Joe. Okay, please select where to install grub to. Well, I always would recommend to install it to the master boot record of the disk. You can select other options, and you also can select to not install grub. When should you not install grub? This is mainly if you have a dual boot system and you have grub on the master boot record of the other system. And if you want to integrate Sparky on the boot menu of the main system, you may want to choose do not install grub, and then you have to make a update grub on your main system and it will be integrated. But if you have only one system on your PC and you choose do not install grub, the system will not boot because there is no grub. I leave it here, master boot record of. So the bootloader starts booting the new system with 5 seconds of delay. You can change that if you want. I leave it as it is. Is your system clock set to your current local time? Yes. And now I select a time zone for my system. In my case, it's Europe, Berlin. I have to scroll down until I see Europe. There are many time zones for America and Asia, and now Europe, Berlin. Here it is. And now you will be asked, please verify that this information is correct. The user Joe, this is me, will be created on the ext4 formatted SDA1 partition, and grub will be installed to the master boot record of SDA. This is all right, and now we can continue. And now we have to wait a little bit, and I think I will pause the video. I'm back when this is done. So now we can choose a favorite desktop with a very small set of applications now. Let's see what we get here. Did you know that I wrote a book about Ubuntu 22.04? Here are all the desktops you can choose from, and not only desktops, but also window manager, tiling manager if you like. So we have all the goodness of Linux here, and it begins alphabetically here with the awesome window manager, or BSPWM, a tiling window manager. We have the Budgie desktop, Cinnamon, Fluxbox, GNOME, i3, IceVM. I think I will go with Mate, because I have a soft spot for the Mate desktop and I just want to see how it will look here on Sparky. So let's do that. And we can select a web browser. I will go with Firefox ESR. This is default in Debian, so I will take that. Okay, and now the installation process for the system is on its way. So I think I have to pause the video again because this will take a little while until it's finished. I'll be back when it's done. Do you want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. In this case, we don't have to type in yes. By the way, if you want my channel to grow, there are many possibilities. For example, you can share it on social media, on any account you have. This would be great and this would help me very much. And if you don't want to miss a video, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumb. And I'm always interested in your comments. Thank you very much. So now it says the Sparky Linux installation is complete. Oh, do you want to reboot now to try Sparky out? Yes, you want to do that. Don't forget to unplug the stick, because otherwise you will again start the ISO and you definitely don't want to do that. So click yes. Now we can enter the name and also the password. And here we are. This is Sparky Linux with Mate desktop. And now let's check what we have here. And as you see, almost no applications are installed. No GIMP. Here in Office, no LibreOffice suite. Internet, only the Firefox ESR browser and this simple text-based mail user agent. But here is nothing. There is no audio player and no video player. Nothing like that. Let's go into the terminal and see if HTOP is installed. I think not, but maybe it is. No, it's not. Let's install HTOP. And now let's check the system resources with HTOP, and we have 457 megs. That's not much. And so this is a very small system, and I think it's a good way to install Debian. And you also have the good stuff that Sparky Linux provides. And here you find it in System Tools. This is the Aptus App Center. Let's take a quick look at that. And here you can install additional applications. Here you have some categories: accessories, desktops, development, games, graphics, internet, multimedia, Office. And for example, if we go into Office, we will find Office Suite. And here we have Calligra, FreeOffice, LibreOffice, the OnlyOffice desktop editors, OpenOffice, WPS Office, and the MS Online apps. All you could imagine, I think. there is not much more here that you can get with a Debian. Maybe you are interested if I think Arch Linux is stable or not. Check the video. Thank you and bye-bye.